Step into the time machine of memories, and let's take a nostalgic journey back to 1979, a year when cinema screens lit up with the exuberant chaos of 1941. Imagine the excitement that rippled through the audience as they embarked on this roller coaster of a film, their senses ignited by the blend of action, comedy, and the unmistakable spirit of that era. Do you recall the first time you crossed paths with 1941? Perhaps it was a lazy Sunday afternoon, the flicker of the screen casting a spell in a dimly lit room. Or maybe it was a raucous movie night with friends, where laughter echoed and popcorn flew in delightful abandon. The film, a concoction of Steven Spielberg's cinematic wizardry, dared to take World War II, a backdrop usually reserved for drama, and spun it into a whirlwind of humor and hijinks. Ah, those memorable moments that cling to the corners of our minds like celluloid dreams. Was it the zany dance of an army tank through the streets of Los Angeles, or the hilarious misadventures of characters entangled in the chaos of wartime hysteria? The film brought forth a feast of memorable scenes that left an indelible mark on anyone lucky enough to experience its unique brand of mayhem. Now, as the spotlight shifts, let's delve into the fascinating tidbits that swirl beneath the surface of 1941. Behind-the-scenes stories, casting coups, and production anecdotes that breathe life into the celluloid magic. These are the nuggets of knowledge that enrich our appreciation of this cinematic gem. Prepare to be captivated by the unexpected tales that interlace with the creation of 1941. From script-writing serendipities to off-screen camaraderie that echoed the on-screen chaos, these anecdotes promise to unveil a fresh layer to a film that has etched itself into our collective memory. So, as the reels of history start to unspool, let's embark on this journey of discovery and rediscovery. 1941 is not just a movie, it's a touchstone, a snapshot of a cinematic moment that continues to ripple through time, inviting us to laugh, reminisce, and reflect on the power of storytelling. Get ready to dive into the world of 1941, where history meets hilarity and imagination knows no bounds. The stage is set, the curtain rises, and our spotlight turns to the enchanting randomness that fuels the legend of this film. And now, without further ado, let's unveil the curtain on some fascinating random facts about 1941. Buckle up for a journey that fuses nostalgia and curiosity, reminding us once again of the magic that happens when creativity takes center stage. Set in the backdrop of World War II hysteria, the 1979 movie 1941, directed by Steven Spielberg, showcased a zany blend of slapstick comedy and explosive action. Inspired by a real-life event, the Great Los Angeles Air Raid of 1942, the film follows the chaos that ensues in Los Angeles after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The ensemble cast brings to life a range of iconic characters, including a paranoid army officer, a lovesick tank commander, and a courageous pilot. With its fast-paced, over-the-top style, the movie offers a unique blend of humor and spectacle that diverges from Spielberg's usual serious fare. While the film faced mixed reviews upon release and didn't achieve the critical acclaim of Spielberg's other works, 1941 still managed to imprint itself on popular culture, influencing subsequent comedies and capturing a sense of wartime anxiety through humor. Its memorable scenes and quotable lines have endured over the years, making 1941 a quirky cult classic in Spielberg's filmography, demonstrating his versatility as a director. In the 1979 film 1941, directed by Steven Spielberg, one notable nod to cinematic history is found in a scene featuring Hollis P. Hollywood, portrayed by Slim Pickens, as Wood has his belongings inventoried by Japanese soldiers aboard a submarine. He rattles off a list that includes 1 box of genuine Cracker Jacks and 1 genuine rabbit's foot. This humorous moment pays homage to Pickens' earlier role as Major Kong in Stanley Kubrick's 1964 classic, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. In Dr. Strangelove, Major Kong similarly takes stock of items in a survival kit, creating a connection between 2 iconic characters played by Slim Pickens. Furthermore, Spielberg's attention to detail in 1941 extended beyond the film itself. Like real movies from the early 1940s, Spielberg intended to include a patriotic message at the end of the film, urging the audience to buy war bonds at this theater. This touch was a deliberate attempt to capture the spirit and atmosphere of the era, as World War II was a significant backdrop to the film's zany events. Although this card didn't make the final cut of the film, it underscores Spielberg's commitment to recreating the historical context of the early 1940s on the silver screen. Interestingly, 1941 also provides a glimpse into the collaborative creativity of Hollywood. The characters Reese and Foley, the names of two bumbling military policemen in the film, have a recurring presence in the works of screenwriting duo Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. Zemeckis and Gale, known for their collaborations on iconic films like Back to the Future, I Wanna Hold Your Hand, and Used Cars, often use these names for police officers or government agents in their movies. This subtle naming convention serves as a fun Easter egg for fans of their work and adds an extra layer of connection between 1941 and the creative minds behind it. In summary, 1941 is more than just a zany wartime comedy. It's a film filled with clever references and a deep appreciation for the history of cinema. From Slim Pickens' memorable callback to Dr. Strangelove to Steven Spielberg's dedication to recreating the wartime atmosphere, this film is a treasure trove of cinematic trivia. When critic Pauline Kael defied expectations, the story behind Spielberg's 1941 and the tumultuous world of cinema, expectations can often weigh heavily on a filmmaker's shoulders. In 1979, director Steven Spielberg found himself grappling with this pressure when he set out to create 1941, a comedy set against the backdrop of World War II. Before its release, Spielberg had a revealing encounter with renowned critic Pauline Kael that shed light on the film's turbulent journey from script to screen. As Spielberg's star was on the rise, thanks to the critical and commercial successes of Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the world eagerly awaited his next masterpiece. However, Kael, known for her candid and often unyielding reviews, wasn't about to let Spielberg off easy. During a radio program appearance alongside Spielberg, Kael seized the opportunity during a commercial break to share her thoughts on his forthcoming film. She warned Spielberg that, given the sky-high expectations set by his previous works, critics were poised to pounce mercilessly if 1941 fell even slightly short of the mark. Ironically, when 1941 finally hit theaters, it was met with mixed reviews. Many critics expressed disappointment, echoing Kael's initial cautionary words. However, amidst the sea of skepticism, Kael stood as one of the few voices to commend Spielberg's unconventional foray into comedy. Spielberg's 1941 might not have garnered the unanimous praise he was accustomed to, but it remains a fascinating chapter in his illustrious career. Kael's pre-release warning serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of filmmaking, where even the most celebrated directors can find themselves navigating stormy waters. In the end, Spielberg's 1941 is a testament to the enduring power of cinema to defy expectations and spark conversations that extend far beyond the closing credits. And as a curious footnote, Steven Spielberg himself has declared that the march composed by John Williams for 1941 stands as his favorite among all the memorable themes Williams has crafted for his films. A silver lining in the midst of critical turbulence. In 1979, amidst the booms of summer blockbusters, Steven Spielberg unleashed 1941, a zany comedy set against the backdrop of World War II. While it's often regarded as Spielberg's first critical stumble, this cinematic romp packed a few surprises of its own. One of the most unexpected turns came in the form of Robert Stack, a seasoned dramatic actor known for his stoic roles, stepping into the world of comedy as General Stilwell. This marked Stack's comedic debut, a departure from his typically solemn portrayals. His performance paved the way for future comedic endeavors, with his most iconic turn as Captain Rex Kramer in Airplane, a parody character based on the tough-as-nails personas Stack had long embodied. Financially, 1941 wasn't the Spielberg juggernaut fans had grown accustomed to after Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It may have fallen short of expectations, but it wasn't a failure either. The film raked in $92 million globally, proving that even Spielberg's misfires had box office clout. Nevertheless, it was a reminder that even the most celebrated directors have their share of ups and downs. Behind the scenes, pyrotechnics whiz-ad, Flowers added his own explosive touch. To capture distant explosions, Flowers estimated using a staggering 50,000 to 75,000 flashbulbs during production, illuminating the chaotic hilarity of 1941. In the grand tapestry of Spielberg's filmography, 1941 may be a footnote, but it's a colorful one, marked by Robert Stack's comedic leap, financial resilience, and a truly electrifying production. In the end, this wartime farce, despite its flaws, still managed to capture the imagination of audiences. In the coastal spectacle that was the 1979 movie 1941, a lesser-known fact emerges that ties the film's location to a later Spielberg classic. The movie's coastal start sequence, set in Cannon Beach, Oregon, holds a surprising connection to The Goonies, a cult favorite co-written and executive produced by none other than Steven Spielberg himself. Both films share this picturesque location as a backdrop, where in 1941, chaos ensues as military exercises unfold on the beach. But a few years later in The Goonies, this same beach becomes the setting for a group of young treasure hunters who, with the help of a mystical doubloon and some creative rock matching, embark on a quest for hidden riches. The serendipitous use of Cannon Beach in both films showcases Spielberg's ability to repurpose locations to fit distinct narratives, leaving movie enthusiasts with a geographical Easter egg worth discovering. This coastal connection is just one of the behind-the-scenes tales from the tumultuous making of 1941. Some scenes in the film were so cacophonous during filming that even the authoritative voice of Spielberg couldn't pierce through the noise to call cut. In one memorable instance, Spielberg resorted to firing a prop machine gun into the air to commandeer the attention of the cast and crew, halting the frenetic action on set. This anecdote illuminates the challenges faced by Spielberg in corralling a star-studded ensemble cast, including John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, in a comedy that often resembled a chaotic war zone. Interestingly, when Spielberg first shared his intention to make 1941 with his close-knit circle of Hollywood friends, the news was met with a mix of support and disbelief. One top director, who remained anonymous but was quoted in an article about the rise of mega-budget movies in the late 1970s, candidly questioned Spielberg's foray into comedy, remarking, "Why is he doing a comedy? When has Steven ever been funny?" This skepticism, however, did little to deter Spielberg's determination to explore new cinematic territory. In retrospect, 1941 remains a distinctive entry in Spielberg's filmography, a rollicking comedy amidst his more serious and iconic works. The coastal connection to The Goonies, the on-set challenges, and the initial skepticism all add layers of intrigue to the film's legacy, reminding us that even the most celebrated directors occasionally venture into uncharted comedic waters. As we reach the final credits of our cinematic journey through the chaos of 1941, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on the personal connection you may have forged with this iconic 1979 movie. Like a time capsule that encapsulates the comedic spirit and societal quirks of that era, 1941 has a unique ability to transport us to a bygone time, all while making us laugh, cringe, and cheer. Perhaps you recall the first time you watched this film, the company you shared it with, or the infectious laughter it provoked. Maybe it's the brilliantly absurd characters like Captain Wild Bill Kelso, or the frantic energy of the wartime Los Angeles setting that has left an indelible mark on your memory. Or it could be the thematic undercurrents, the blend of farce, romance, and patriotism that still resonate with you today. In a world where the absurdity of life often mirrors that of this zany film, 1941 stands as a testament to the enduring power of laughter and the human spirit, even in the face of chaos and uncertainty. So, take a moment to share your favorite memories or thoughts about this movie. Let's keep the conversation alive and celebrate the moments that have made us smile. Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic journey through 1941. Your time and interest are deeply appreciated. Keep the laughter alive, and let's continue to explore the rich tapestry of cinema together. Until next time, this is your host,